Welcome to The Amazing Facts. Stay tuned.
The cost of innovation when good ideas go bad. Inventions have undoubtedly changed the world, completely altering our way of life. However, not every attempt to make humanity's life easier has succeeded. Some inventions, despite their initial promise, have led to disastrous outcomes that we are still grappling with today. Join us as we examine stories of ingenuity gone wrong and learn the true cost of progress. So buckle up and let's dive into some of the most notorious cases of innovation gone awry. Zyklon B, a horrific transformation. Zyklon B was initially developed by German-born Jewish scientist Fritz Haber as a cyanide-based insecticide called Zyklon A. However, the Nazis later modified his procedure and repurposed it into Zyklon B, a deadly gas used in the Holocaust's gas chambers. This transformation of a seemingly useful invention into a tool of mass murder is a stark example of how scientific knowledge can be misused. Haber himself, despite his contributions to science, is often remembered with a tainted legacy due to the devastating application of his work. The story of Zyklon B serves as a powerful lesson on the ethical responsibilities that come with scientific discovery and technological innovation. Chlorofluorocarbons, a threat to our ozone. Enter Thomas Midgley, a General Motors scientist who, in the 1930s, developed dichlorodifluoromethane, the world's first chlorofluorocarbon, or CFC. This innovation seemed like a perfect solution. CFCs were non-toxic, non-flammable, and highly effective as refrigerants. However, this invention created a new problem entirely. Sunlight breaks down CFCs in the atmosphere, releasing highly reactive chlorine, which eats away at Earth's ozone layer. The discovery of the ozone hole in the 1980s was a wake-up call for the world. While international efforts have shown positive results, the lingering effects of CFCs continue to impact our environment today. Leaded petrol poison in the air. In 1921, Thomas Midgley, the same scientist behind CFCs, invented leaded gasoline to improve engine performance. At the time, engines were plagued by knocking and pinging sounds, which leaded gasoline effectively eliminated. However, this invention caused lead contamination everywhere, including the air and soil. Consequently, there was a rise in a multitude of health conditions, such as cancer and heart disease. Lead exposure also negatively affected the intelligence of young children and contributed to a significant rise in crime rates. The phasing out of leaded gasoline began in the 1970s, but its legacy of pollution and health issues continues to be felt. This story underscores the importance of thorough safety testing and long-term impact studies for any new technology. Plastic bags, the ubiquitous menace. Forbes estimates that we use about 5 trillion plastic bags each year. Under 3% is recycled and the rest isn't even disposed of properly, with a significant portion ending up in the oceans. Plastic bags, initially invented in 1965, were hailed as a lightweight and convenient alternative to paper bags. However, their durability and resistance to decomposition have turned them into one of the most challenging pollutants to tackle. As environmental awareness grows, many countries and cities have implemented bans or taxes on plastic bags to reduce their usage. However, the scale of the problem remains enormous, and finding sustainable alternatives continues to be a significant challenge for communities worldwide. Opioid painkillers, a crisis unleashed. In 1806, the first pure opioid, morphine, was made by German chemist Friedrich Wilhelm Adam Serturner. Initially, opiates were seen as medical marvels, providing relief from severe pain and suffering. However, by the end of the century, the dangers of opioid use had become apparent. The addictive properties of opioids led to widespread misuse, dependence, and a growing number of overdoses. The opioid crisis has had devastating effects on communities across the globe, leading to countless deaths and straining public health systems. This tragic story serves as a cautionary tale about the potential for even the most beneficial medical advancements to cause harm when not managed responsibly. Asbestos, a lurking killer. Asbestos mining was already ongoing during the Middle Ages, but the asbestos boom officially began in the 1800s. Asbestos was used in almost every step of the building process, including flooring, plumbing, roofing, and electrical insulation. Its fire-resistant properties made it seem like an ideal material for construction. But exposure to asbestos causes a severe illness called asbestosis and is linked to a number of cancers. Despite its ban in many countries, asbestos remains a very real threat today, lurking in the structure of many old buildings. The cost of removing asbestos and the health risks associated with its presence have left a lasting legacy of this once celebrated material. Hydrogen blimps, the Hindenburg disaster. Airships were initially built to fly on helium gas, which was remarkably safe and non-flammable. Germany, looking for alternatives for its airships, chose to use the highly flammable hydrogen gas instead. This decision led to one of the most infamous aviation disasters in history. On May 6, 1937, Germany's infamous hydrogen-filled Hindenburg blimp caught alight as it docked in the United States. The entire airship was consumed by flames in just 35 seconds. The disaster resulted in the deaths of 36 people and marked the end of the airship era. The Hindenburg disaster remains a powerful reminder of the potential consequences when safety is compromised. Glow-in-the-dark wristwatches, radiant danger. Wristwatches were popularized during the First World War, but soldiers couldn't check the time in the dark trenches. The luminescent paint contained radioactive radium, which glowed in the dark, making it easier for soldiers to read the time at night. Unfortunately, the women doing the painting in the factories did not know the danger they were exposed to. Believing the paint was safe, they often put the paintbrushes in their mouth to make a pointed tip. This consistent exposure to radium led to severe illnesses, including bone fractures, necrosis, and cancer, and resulted in the loss of over 50 lives. The tragic story of the Radium Girls brought attention to the dangers of radioactive materials and led to increased regulations and safety standards in the workplace. Flying cars, a dream, crashed. In the early 1970s, aerospace engineering duo Henry Smolinski and Harold Hal Blake devised a plan to make cars that could fly like an airplane. Their design involved adding detachable wings to the car, and they called it the Mizar. However, its first outing was a failure as the wings began detaching mid-flight and it eventually crash-landed. Disaster struck when the inventors took the Mizar for a spin a few months later to test a new engine. This time, the Mizar's wings completely fell off during the flight test and the vehicle plunged to the ground. The Mizar's tragic end serves as a cautionary tale about the challenges and risks associated with ambitious engineering projects. Cigarettes, a deadly habit. Modern cigarettes were only invented around the 19th century, and it's at this point that things got nasty. By the end of World War I, almost everyone was smoking them, and advertisements portrayed them as healthy. But by the 1950s, studies finally linked cigarette smoking to lung cancer. The World Health Organization estimates that cigarettes are responsible for 7 million deaths each year. Many countries have since implemented tight regulations regarding cigarette use, including advertising bans, warning labels, and smoking restrictions. Despite these efforts, the legacy of cigarette smoking continues to impact global health, highlighting the need for ongoing education and prevention measures. Outro, reflecting on innovation. While innovation is essential for progress, it's crucial to consider the long-term consequences of our creations. These stories remind us that even the best intentions can lead to unforeseen and sometimes devastating outcomes. As we continue to innovate and develop new technologies, it's vital to approach each step with caution, responsibility, and a deep understanding of potential risks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. See you next time. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some of history's most infamous inventions.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe our channel for latest notifications.